now at the following night, Ajax, Tottenham, John, I think we talked about it during the week. I thought we both felt Tottenham could get a result there. They went 2-0 down. That's 2-0 down, 3-0 win an away goal in London. And it looked impossible. But the game in London, Spurs came back at them in the second half and were unlucky not to get an equaliser. And really, they didn't have the know-how, Ajax, I didn't think, to manage the game from 2-0 up. And in the end, Tottenham's heart got them through.
Yeah. Well, Tottenham did brilliantly, Eamon, as we know, and you need the spirit and you need the go and the will to do what they did.
Yeah.
But I think with Ajax being the young team that they are, Eamon, and we all mentioned, I think, last week, their home record was terrible. That's not a coincidence that when you lose the matches they do. They're a young team. They don't know how to control the game.
Yes.
They didn't, like if you were playing against an experienced team and you go 3-0 up, it is 3-0 up at half time, you can play it in a certain way.
Yeah.
I think they only had one way.
Yes.
Which was to go, which they hit the upright, didn't they, in the second half. So they were still going in a way that whether they were 3 down or 3 up, that's the way they play. And it's lack of experience with young players, because in the game, whether it's, say, Modric playing for Croatia or for Real Madrid, goals dictate how you play. If you're 2-0 up and a player like Modric recognised now you play in a certain way, you've licensed to a ball here, a ball here, without being too ambitious.
Control the tempo of the game.
Of the game. But they didn't have anybody to do that.
No.
So they were still going at Spurs as if it was no score. So it was lack of experience in that team, and I think it's no coincidence that their home record was poor throughout this tournament.
Madrid had beaten them at home, and Juventus, in fact, drew at home in both cases.
And Inter Milan was there, weren't they?
Yeah, and then they went to Madrid and won 4-1. Yeah. Went to Juventus, won 2-1. Liam, interestingly, he put Llorente on Pochettino, and they started mixing it up a bit, knocking long balls forward and playing off the front man, which reminded me of Graham Taylor a bit. It was a fantastic result and a fantastic show of spirit, really.
Yeah, absolutely, Eamon. Yeah, you're dead right. It was their spirit and their physical capabilities as well. Llorente gave the Ajax defence all sorts of problems. They did go route one a lot of the time. I'm sure Pochettino said to the players, "Look, we're going at halftime in the Ajax stadium. We're going out with a whimper here. Let's go out with our heads held high. Let's go out having a go." And that's exactly what they did second half. And you have to say they deserved it to come. To have the will, to have the spirit, to be 3 down, as you said, on aggregate, to come back was a fantastic performance, and all credit to them.
Lucas,
from an Arsenal point of view, and being an Arsenal supporter, probably Moura scoring that goal was a bit of a dagger in the heart. If Spurs go and win the Champions League, and in Arsenal's history, they've never won it. So, I had mixed feelings when he knocked it in, but you have to say, from a football point of view, an emotional point of view, it was a tremendous comeback. Again, we've seen players in tears at the end of Company. We talked about him on Monday night. Milner, I saw crying as they were singing "You'll Never Walk Alone." And Pochettino, he was inconsolable. He just lost control completely. It demonstrates how much this game means to people and how it can get you. It was fantastic to see the emotion of it all.
Yeah, and I mean, I must say, for us three now who've been, around this game for decades, I loved it. I'm sure you did, and John also. I mean, you get excited like a kid to see this game when it's really played the way it should be played. And for Lucas Moura, Brazilian who had a bad time at PSG, came to Spurs and has hasn't quite established himself to score a hat-trick, semi-final of the Champions League. Yeah. And Pochettino, as Liam remarked, he was uncontrollable.
Yeah. I was surprised at him, but it does show how emotional it can be, the game itself, to the supporters and also to players. And I think what it did show, and I'm pleased to see the reaction to company and all the players that we mentioned, because a lot of people say to us, and I'm sure you've heard it a lot of time, they're just only playing for the money and
don't care.
The money nowadays, and they don't care. They actually do care a lot. Of course, professional footballers, they paid a lot of money. We all say, the three of us, good luck to them. The money wasn't there in our day, but an awful lot of people say, what about the money in the game? It spoiled the players. They don't try as hard as they used to. And these particular matches showed in a big way, whether it be company and Pochettino and all the Liverpool people, Kenny Dalglish, everybody, how much it does actually mean to them. Not a question of money at all. Professional footballers are professional footballers. Of course, they earn a lot of money. People might say, well, there's too much money involved in it. But I hate to hear, they're not trying because they're getting some. This last week has proven beyond any doubt that how much the game actually means to the people concerned in the game.
Yeah, and Pochettino said, Liam, afterwards, I think he summed up what all of us feel. He said, I thank the game for doing this for us. And that was a very profound statement, I thought, of the passions that drive people like him.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's been an incredible week. It's been... I think the football being played now at the moment across the spectrum of Europe and things like that is really exciting, and the reaction from the fans and from people. Some of them not really that interested in football this week. Football has really got to them,
Yes, indeed.
You probably have somebody at home, maybe a guy at home who's mad about football, and his wife probably doesn't give two hoots about it. But even those kind of people this week have engaged with it and seen how incredible, emotional game it can be.
Yeah.